Now it's over to the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'll let you decide who's who.
Okay, so lockpick of death, what is that?
This one's actually an airbag myth. Scenario is a guy's breaking into a car using one of those flat lockpicks. Triggers the side airbag. The airbag explodes, launching the lockpick through his skull.
Sweet. Sweet.
It's another story from that font of urban legend, the famous MythBusters fan site. A would-be car thief is using a lockpick to break into a car. While poking around inside the door, he unwittingly triggers the side airbag, which expands with such force, the lockpick becomes a missile, and the thief suddenly finds himself picking his own brain. Get ready for a MythBuster tale full of exploding airbags, skullduggery,
As long as they're legal, we're happy.
and udon noodles.
Well, that looks a little like brain, doesn't it? Well, I think we should learn, first of all, how to pick a car lock. Do either of you know how to do that already?
No.
Well, short of getting a criminal, I think maybe we should see if a fireman can help us out, because I know that you have to pick locks to get into cars.
The guys are going on a fact-finding mission.
We need to learn how to use a lockpick, and we hear you can teach us.
Well, we do have some cars over here, and we do have some tools. Let's see if we can actually get in.
Excellent. Let's do it.
Cool.
At the Livermore Pleasanton Fire Department's training facility, firemen do take lock-picking lessons. And while we're not allowed to show you how it's done, the MythBusters take careful note of the technique.
All right, Matt, you want to give it a shot? Sure.
So you are leaning directly over the lockpick as you're trying to get in the car.
It's worth noting, too, that these guys don't practice this on vehicles with side airbags, just in case.
I mean, if you were leaning over that tool and the airbag went off, I could see how that thing would launch up into your neck.
This demonstration shows that a person using a lockpick would be in the correct position to be impaled.
Almost got it. Hey!
Outstanding.
Nice.
Excellent.
But would an airbag really go off with a big enough bang to send that tool through your skull?
We have a driver's airbag out of a small vehicle, and I put a traffic cone on it so we can see it a little bit better going up in the air, and we're going to launch it. Do not try this at home.
The airbag's rigged for remote ignition.
Everybody ready?
Hey, we're ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Run!
Good shot!
The leading edge of this bag is coming at you about 500 miles an hour. It's deploying in about a quarter of a millisecond, and then it deflates almost immediately.
These are the airbags that come out of the steering wheel. Now, what are the difference between these and the side ones that come out of the door?
Side airbags will be deploying about 4 times faster than these are.
Now that we gotta see.
3, 2, 1.
Whoa! Yes!
That cone's out of the park.
That was a good one.
It's fantastic.
Whoa! Yes! Got any more of those?
Oh, I wish. That was cool.
How cool was that? I mean, those airbags must have shot the cones like 50 feet in the air.
Well, yeah, that's because technically they are explosives, which is ironic because they're meant to save your life, but they go off right in your face. But what happens is sensors on the car detect a crash, they ignite the airbag, which inflates a nylon fabric bag full of gas in a split second.
One thing's for sure, these firefighters have failed to hose down speculation about this myth.
These things are powerful. I mean, I could see how this whole thing might work.
All right, let's get going.
You can get some lockpicks on the way home.
Could an expanding airbag send a lockpick through a person's skull?
2, 1.
Well, we've seen an airbag launch a traffic cone weighing several pounds. So what might it do to a thin sliver of metal?
In order to test this myth, we're gonna need to get some car doors with side airbags, and we'll get some lock picks and see if we can set off the airbags with them.
Yeah, but if this actually works, I think it'll be too dangerous for any of us to do.
Even for him?
Yeah, even for him. I think we should make a robot.
A robot? That's an original.
Shocking. I would have never guessed you wanted to build a robot.
Well, hey, we don't have any trained monkeys, so we're gonna have to use a robot.
I don't know about no trained monkeys, but here's what we might loosely call the plan. Grant will build a pair of remote-controlled hands to operate the lockpick. A ballistics material baddie boasting a real human skull will be leaning over the tool. When the airbag deploys, we'll see whether it's curtains for our car thief. While Grant gets to grips with his robotic robber,
Danger, Will Robinson, danger! Warning, warning!
Kari's going headhunting.
To properly test the lockpick of death myth, I really feel like I need a real human skull. A casting just isn't going to give me the same sort of information. So, come to the bone room, because I know that they have a lot of skulls here.
Do you think it's possible for a lockpick to be shot through a human head, just from the force of an airbag?
There's parts on the skull that are fairly delicate. You know, the nose, inside the eyes, but underneath is pretty solid.
Yeah, this is, you know, there's a lot more here than I'd expected.
Yeah, I mean, your brain's pretty well protected.
Now she's going to make like the Wizard of Oz and give him a brain.
This is sort of a gory myth, the idea of a lockpick shooting through your head. So I'm gonna make a little bit of blood and a little bit of brain that I can stuff up into this cavity here. And that way, whoops, he's fine. If the skull gets damaged anyway, we'll know.
Kari mixes up some fake blood, and for the old gray matter,
Well, that looks a little like brain, doesn't it? Just a little.
now that's using your noodle. When Kari's finished filling his head with nonsense,
Brains are made of noodles.
she puts the skull inside the Grant mold
I think this skull might have been a little bigger than Grant's head.
and pours ballistic gel around it.
I just can't tell if it's leaking out or not.
Meanwhile, the real Grant is still wrestling with his robot.
Lockpick sits right here in between two grippy hands with ballistics material fingers. Those are held securely in two linear actuators that will move basically in a straight line like this or angling like that.
So we've got a ballistics gel car thief, complete with human skull.
Yeah!
And we've got a remote-controlled lock-picking robot. Now, we just need a car to break into.
Are we sure that the airbags in here are actually operational?
I think they've already been set off, to be honest.
No, Tory, the side airbag hasn't been deployed. We just don't know if it can still fire. Mechanic Thomas Hannon runs a complete diagnostic check and, not surprisingly, finds plenty of faults.
Now, for this myth, we're focusing on the side impact airbags. Will those faults inhibit the system from firing those?
No, they shouldn't.
So the side airbag should still work. Question is, can a lockpick set it off? Remember, the myth states that an airbag inflates with enough force to send a lockpick boring through bone. Grant's robot is wrestled into position.
Okay, just gonna get the tip inserted here. Too dangerous for the whole lockpick. So that's what this myth is all about.
Using the remote control, Grant plunges the lockpick deep into the door.
Okay, so that is as deep as it can go in there.
Finally, enter our car thief, ready for a little Grand Theft Auto. His head's placed directly above the lockpick.
That's perfect, man.
It's right under his chin.
Okay.
All right, let's see if you can fire off this airbag.
Okay, guys, lockpick of death. Are you ready?
If this works, we're going to get a lockpick shooting through the guy's skull like a spear, and there's gonna be blood and udon everywhere.
Here we go.
Grant goes fishing.
It's gotta be really hard to pick a lock when you can't feel or see it yourself.
No. I hooked something. Check it out.
Wait.
Pull up. Wasn't a lock.
Looks like it got away.
Remember, he's not trying to unlock the door. It's all about triggering the airbag.
You getting frustrated?
Frustration,
Because
yes.
I am.
But the airbag doesn't deploy, and the dummy's chin is still in one piece.
You know, on the surface, this myth does seem feasible. Our researchers found 5 different cases on the internet where this happened. 2 of them were guys trying to steal the cars. 3 of them were cops trying to move cars which were blocking fire escapes.
On closer inspection, though, there is absolutely no hard evidence for one of these stories. There's no news reports, there's no police reports, it's all hearsay.
You know what else? Some of the cars that were mentioned don't even have side airbags.
Dubious at best.
Grant decides to let his robot get rough.
Well, let me get a little bit more vigorous.
Yeah, that's good, because if you were breaking into a car, you probably would be a little more frantic about it.
Grant gives the remote control unit a thorough thumbing, with no result.
I think I've pretty much done the entire range of motion, back and forth, up, down. I think if it was going to set it off, it would have set off the airbag by now.
I think any fireman would have opened the door by now, and definitely a criminal would have.
Thomas, how come we're not able to set off the airbag?
The airbag's actually inside the car, not inside the door.
Well, what they have to do is... Wait a second. What did you say?
The airbag's actually inside the car, not inside the door.
So you knew this all along, and this is what you're expecting? You watch us bumble around with this?
Yeah, I was pretty certain that the airbag would not deploy.
Well, okay then.
After trying in vain to trigger some airbag bloodshed with a lockpick,
What is it doing?
the MythBusters have discovered that a side airbag is not actually inside the car door. It's in the car, hidden behind the upholstery.
This is the airbag.
Okay, well, it seems that jiggling around the lockpick isn't enough to set off the airbag. This one is looking busted.
Not so fast. Now, we know that airbags are set off by impact. What if the crook is creating his own impact? Like he gets really mad and starts kicking the door.
That is a great idea. But I think it's too dangerous for any one of us to kick the door. So what I'll do is I'll modify the sword swinging rig and turn it into a kicking machine.
Yeah, super kicking rig.
I like it.
So, scenario B. Unable to break into the car, our frustrated felon kicks the door, and that impact triggers the airbag, really giving him a problem to get his head around. This air-powered rig has been used to swing swords and heft hammers. Now, the shoe's on the other foot.
Who's gonna lose their teeth today? We need to make sure our rig is calibrated to what a human can actually kick.
Kari and Tory take turns sinking the boot into a force plate.
Anytime, actually. That's, you peaked at 485 newtons.
Imagine what a guy could do if I had steel toes.
You ready?
Yep.
Ooh, that's a good one.
You peaked at 1,056 newtons. More than twice what Kari did.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
I think I might have done twice as much damage to my foot.
1,000 newtons of force. That's what the kick rig has to match. Air pressure of 25 pounds per square inch will get the job done.
So we're gonna keep the head in place, we're gonna keep the lockpick in place, and now we're gonna bring in a machine to do a little kicking.
Is 1,000 newtons of force enough to set off a side airbag? Is the lockpick about to burrow into our dummy's brain? They're about to take a punt. Well, the rig is.
Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Oh, we just dented the car door.
The airbag didn't deploy, the lockpick didn't launch. That dummy's still got his head together, man.
I say we ramp it up from 25 to 125.
Yeah.
So way beyond anything any human could possibly do.
Superhuman.
Kari ups the air pressure to 125 psi.
We're closing in on 100.
That boot's about to get 5 times more forceful.
What happened?
Nothing.
Did he kick himself in the head?
The car might not be intact, but the car thief's only a little shaken up.
Well, kicking the door does not set off the airbag.
In any way at all. And that was its superhuman strength.
As a last resort, they rigged the airbag to go off remotely, with the lockpick and the dummy in position, just to see what would happen.
2, 1.
Well,
And there you have it. Lockpick and airbag are not in the same vicinity.
It takes an automotive impact of tremendous strength. There's no human way to do it. You need to strike the vehicle with G-forces in excess of 8 Gs. That's a lot of energy.
So this one's double busted. And not only can a lockpick not set off a side impact airbag, but an impact from a human can't set it off either.
Well, the airbag is deploying inside the car. The direction is not up towards the lockpick, so the lockpick would never get launched into your skull. It's busted.
Well, that means it's my favorite part of the myth. This is where we get to replicate the results. I did not make those brains for nothing.
So to pick our car thief's brain once and for all, the plan is to, yes, build an air cannon that'll fire that lockpick straight into the dummy's skull.
To get this lockpick up to lethal velocity, we're gonna need as much air as possible going through here as quickly as we can.
The lockpick is set in a foam sabot, which fits snugly down the barrel.
All right, load her in.
There's a chance that the barrel itself might explode.
Once again, the dummy's gonna lead with his chin. He's lined up directly over the barrel.
I would say let's strap it.
Nah, that's good, dude. It's perfect.
Ouch! If that lockpick launches, it just can't miss. But will it be able to pierce solid bone? The cannon's primed with maximum air pressure, 125 psi. Will that be enough to blow the dummy's mind?
This is Lockpick of Death, the final blow.
Here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
Straight up through the top of the head. Dude, it's totally curved through the skull.
Oh, that is it.
It's dripping blood.
That's what you wanted.
I know that an airbag won't do that, but I
Hey,
guess an air gun will.
If ever there was a MythBusters experiment that does what it says on the tin, this is it. The skull is skewered.
Looks like it took 125 psi for me to meet my demise. Now that's so far out of the realm of reality, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, the whole idea of, in the middle of breaking into a car, the airbag going off and launching the lockpick into your head, I mean, it's just busted.
it's busted.
It's busted like me.